Hello everyone and welcome to another News Coolum video and another site review. I'm here in Garden Grove. It's called H Market, I believe, and it's a new ChargePoint site. It's funded by a SoCal Edison Charge Ready program, and they installed 4 of these new ChargePoint Express units. Now, these are the basic 50 kilowatt units, the ones that aren't linked together, and they're not actually the faster 150 amp units that these stations can come in, which should really be rated a little higher than 50 kilowatts because they can actually output that full power to the vehicles that can actually accept more than 125 amps of charging. But these are the slower versions. These are the standard 50 kilowatt versions, but there are 4 of them. Now, again, with ChargePoint, EVgo, most of the public charging providers outside of Electrify America, they build parity in terms of there's 1 CCS head for every 1 CHAdeMO head. So basically, if you're driving a CHAdeMO vehicle, any of these chargers will work for you, but the same if you're driving a CCS vehicle. So these are pretty much standard neutral chargers at this point. And then one other thing is, in terms of the pricing, I don't know if this is going to stay this way, but they're currently set at 25 cents per kilowatt hour. I would like to see maybe some sort of a parking fee, because you could have vehicles just sitting here for hours using these chargers because there's no penalty for basically staying after a certain period because you're literally only paying per kilowatt hour. But otherwise, if you expect that people are only going to be here for 45 minutes to an hour, then it's fine, and actually it's preferable to be paying per kilowatt hour. Now, in terms of the site score, this is a sort of a different type of site than I normally am assessing, because this isn't really a travel site. So in terms of access, I'm actually only going to give this site an 8. It's a little far off the freeway. It's a little hard to get to, which knocks a point off of it. But then the other thing is, it also doesn't support full pull-through parking. This is really just for small vehicles that aren't really towing or pulling a trailer or anything else. Now, it is good in that you can access these chargers from either side. So the parking spaces on either side of these chargers, you'll be able to gain access. So that's good, but this also lacks a level 2 AC charger at this site. So it all kind of balances out, but I'm giving it a total of 8 out of 10 for access. In terms of amenities though, I'm going to give this a 9. Really, the only things that are missing are sort of those travel stop type amenities that you would get, but in addition to food and other services, you also have a full-on actual grocery store, which gives you access to a lot of the things that you wouldn't normally have access to if it were just like restaurants or whatnot. It doesn't really have a 24-hour bathroom that I know of, so that's also sort of a knock. And again, this is out in the open, uncovered. There's no solar canopy or anything else, so these parking spaces aren't shaded. Again, that's not as much of an issue in Southern California as it is in other parts of the country, but it is still something I'd like to see more of, is having covering to, protect the chargers from the sun and keep the vehicles cooler, because it's lacking that in a few of the other basic travel services. It's only getting a 9 out of 10 for amenities. Now, in terms of site concentration, this is above average. There are 4 chargers here, but you could easily support 6 to 8 chargers here and justify them as well. And so for that, anytime I'm seeing these 4 charger sites, I'm just giving them a score of 6 out of 10. They're above average, but not exceptional. And really, in the coming years, even these charging sites are going to need to be expanded, at least doubled, right? Just because 4 chargers in a highly trafficked area isn't going to be enough. Now, in terms of location, this isn't that important of a location, frankly. I'm only giving it a 7 out of 10. You're just to the south of places like Disneyland, and so you could support some travel and some tourist needs, but really this charger is coming online in a region that's already saturated by chargers. This is really mostly going to be supporting the neighborhood. And as it is, Garden Grove, a majority of the homes have off-street parking, have garages, have access to charging in their house. So really it's going to be a small number of condominiums, maybe townhomes or apartments where people don't have that sort of access. So you're not really supporting a huge population here. And it's not, like I said, that much of a travel charger either in terms of supporting long distance travel. So it's only getting a 7 out of 10 for location. And then in terms of speed, these are only the 50 kilowatt chargers. I mean, I consider that just sort of average at this point. So it's getting a 5 out of 10. You know, it'd get bumped up a little bit if these were the faster 150 amp chargers, or if they were linked together and able to provide 125 kilowatt, they would get even higher score. But I consider these pretty much just bare average in terms of speed. So they're getting a 5 out of 10. Now that brings this total site score to a 35 out of 50. So again, this is a C basically, and there are some really easy things that ChargePoint can do, or I guess SoCal Edison if they're funding it, or whoever really owns this site. There are a lot of little things that could be done here just to improve the score here or there. I mean, a C though is nothing to be ashamed of. If some of you have watched some of my previous reviews, some of those earlier sites from 3, 4, 5 years ago, they're really only going to score a D on my current grading scale. So I don't think that a C is necessarily bad, and I think it's passing essentially, but we do want to start seeing these sites improve at the very least in terms of speed and the number of chargers and just some basic things like covering or whatnot. So I'd love to hear what you think. Have you used some of these new ChargePoint Express chargers? What's your experience been? Do you come to the Garden Grove area or visit Disneyland? I don't know. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel, and thank you for watching.